Ready?
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool. I use it a lot with clients because, like, if we have a client meeting, and not that I'm paranoid, but that way they have notes of what we talked about, right? So they can hold me accountable, like, and vice versa. If they say, "Well, I thought you were going to do a left-handed smoke shifter," I'm like, "Well, let's look at the meeting notes." I didn't agree to a left-handed smoke shifter. Hey, there's Portia. We got people coming in.
Yay.
They coming.
I'm
Yep.
trying. I'm
Like
trying
those
to get these
AI
out as
note
fast as
takers.
I can.
Do your thing. If you know, when I run meetups and like I did an AI presentation earlier this week, and I always wait 5 minutes because no one's on time in today's world for right. Even if you had the right link, like um
True,
now that
true.
you're
They have to
now
get
you're sending out
logged
the right
in
link.
and
Hey, Portia.
That's what it's funny you say that because I started explaining to somebody about when you set your sessions because he said I started scheduling my life and I was like, well, when you schedule your life, are you accounting for the time frame of you sitting down and getting yourself prepped and stretching and before you actually start working, or does it take you 5-10 minutes to start working before when you sit behind your desk?
Right.
And
That's a great
I was like,
point.
well, now you have to start accounting for that because if not, you're not giving yourself that full hour to really be creative and do what you were going to do. Uh, that was to Big Schoon and both to Robert. But like, yeah, once you start budgeting your time and starting figuring out what's going to work, you got to figure out like how much effort you're really putting into that time.
Your
Well,
links,
to
people are getting the right links now, Art, that you're sending out.
making it work.
Awesome.
Well, that's
yeah,
why
they
too.
coming.
The iPhone is Daniel, by the way. I can rename
Gotcha.
that for you. I'll put on the Daniel.
What up, Chloe?
There you go.
Nice.
Coming along.
Yeah, I'm so glad I'm basically done working.
Yeah, I figured that's would have been the perfect time. It's like Super Bowl weekend. Everybody's going to be finishing up with their work a little early.
Hi, Jane. There's Nikki. Great. Yeah, I think you're busy sending out the right link to everyone. It's cool.
We did it.
Woohoo!
I'm almost there.
It's exciting.
I just text you. Hopefully
I'm gonna go on
you
mute
got
until we're ready. You sent me an agenda, but you want me to follow that, or are you gonna follow it?
No, that's just for all of us to know what we're doing when it comes in.
Okay, great. That's what I was thinking.
What time is it? Where we at? All right, we'll probably start in like 3 minutes. I
We
don't
got
know
some
how many
on the
people are in.
road.
More people will join.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Also, it is so. This is the first one, which people have to figure it out, and you're figuring out your email blast. But if you do this again next month, we can do it by Google Calendar, and you can just add all the people from a calendar invite. That way, they'll have it on their calendar, and it'll be like the right link and everything. It's cool.
That'll be fire.
Malaysia's driving.
That's
She's
dedication.
waving while she's driving.
Hard work.
Yeah. She
Be
driving
safe.
that
Don't
big
look at
rig.
us.
Fire.
Look straight ahead.
I tell her that all the time. Don't be on your phone.
These are audio presentations, anyways. You're all right.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's funny.
We'll beat Talk Weight Radio every day.
I have someone in my business group. We meet every Tuesday, and she's always in the car. And the irony is, she's an Allstate insurance agent, but she's
Yeah.
doing the Zoom in her car every week.
And
She's
I
super
will be
safe about it.
using
I'm
her
not saying,
services.
but she's awesome. And then by the time it comes to her turn to do her presentation, she's home because she dropped off the kids.
I will be
Oh,
using
wow.
her services. She's a great agent.
Oh,
Billy
man.
Bear McCoy is in there.
Dude, I saved $1,200 off Geico. $1,200 between all the different insurances, right?
$1,200.
Oh yeah,
That's
like
a
amazing.
year.
yeah,
So
per
is
year.
that, would you consider that
$100 less
15%?
for a car, motorcycle, and renter's insurance all bundled. I saved
Uh-huh.
$100 a month, which is $1,200 a year. and I give that
Okay,
instead to
yeah.
Walter, which I've told you guys know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I give
He make that
like
money. Do what it do.
do put it in the brokerage account. Do your thing.
So did that work out to be about 10 to 15%?
Yeah, the guy goes always like 10 for 15% off what?
Yo, Geico is horrible, bro. Like I just dealt with them for the last like 3 days.
Oh yeah.
And it was like automated service, get somebody on the phone. Oh, go to the link, do this in the link. You
If
don't
I,
have all the options. You call for the
knock wood, I
automated
haven't been in an
service.
accident in 15 years, but if I was, I will call Krista on the cell phone.
That's why we're
from the
switching.
car.
I made sure we didn't get a car that like we can get a shirt under her and everything. Like,
Yeah.
All right, we got
I
plenty
did
of
my due
people in.
diligence.
We got
That pays.
Millionaire McCoy in, Finn is in, Rihanna Patterson.
Yep. Anna.
Yep. Daniel Jane. Yep, they rolling in now.
Everyone's muted when they first come in.
Yeah.
So when we go through whatever the format is, just remember to unmute yourself if you're going to talk.
Mm-hmm.
And let me know when you start, and I'll record.
Okay. I got like
Yeah,
3
you
more
know.
emails on this list.
You got what?
So I got like 3 more emails on this
Do
list.
your
so
thing. Do
just
your
let me
thing.
get these. Oh,
People can
shit.
join also late if they want to.
Yeah.
People might be doing stuff. Hey,
I thought we
Just,
were
do you have
gonna
a
start.
do
Huh?
you have
Go
a
ahead.
stream?
All right.
Do you have a stream deck?
I'm supposed to be having one on the way. It's on my list of shit that I need to buy. You got a stream deck? Don't tell me you got a stream deck.
Dude, I might have another present for you.
Dude, whatever would help.
Because I
Look,
got
I'm
I
like,
just ordered the stream deck too, and I have the stream
Uh-huh.
deck, which is right here, which is might be donated to someone at Stream Podcast.
man,
Because it
listen,
hooks
that'll
up
be
to
awesome.
it hooks up to OBS, to Zoom. Like I can do this,
Right. Oh,
You want to
muted
start
it.
that off?
and then you want me to record?
Yes.
Okay, hold
You
on.
got this, Just?
Hold
There we
on,
go.
because you're supposed to do the intro.
Oh, am I doing the intro first? Oh yeah, we switch it around. Okay.
Welcome to
There we go, Rush.
Successes.
Oh yeah.
I'd like to introduce the founder of Successes, Art. How's that for a handoff?
Thank you. Yes, welcome to Successes. We are here virtually for our first meetup. As I get a chance to, I'll make sure everybody gets their link. I know we had quite a few more RSVPs, but we'll make this happen. So thank you, everybody. My name is Art Saenz. I'm the founder of Successes. We are a business education community that provides resources to other entrepreneurs, independent contractors, and small business owners, growing business owners, brick and mortar, just about whatever you guys are trying to do out here, we have resources for you. It's good to see a lot of familiar faces in the community, both in Successes and just throughout my life. I'd like to say thank you for all of you guys being here and introduce Just B from Under the Hood. He has a few words in the reason why we're here, empowerment, and take it away.
Yo, what's good? Man, I hope everybody out there can hear me. Art always asks me to speak, and he always hits me up last minute and tells me, just be speak about this. Today I want you to speak about empowerment. And so I was over here and I was just contemplating, like, okay, I'm looking up shit, like, what should I speak about? How should I come off or whatnot? And then I realized I don't even need to do that because I'm literally going into a meeting full of individuals, other business owners, other entrepreneurs that empowers me every single time that we do these meetups. I mean, and it goes even far beyond. It goes far beyond just the Successes meetups, because then I'm able to change the way that I vision things, visual, like my visualization of things by watching all of you create the dopest content all throughout the city, from the business besties to Bianca McCall, to JB, to Michael Creeman, to Art, and everybody. So, you know, I haven't always been easy to find empowerment or be empowered until I realized that if I don't do that, then I'm always going to be a nobody. And I didn't want to do that. So I became a somebody, you know, and I'm here to continue to empower everybody. So what I want everybody to do as we break off into the smaller groups and the little workshops and things like that is just be empowered when you go into these groups, and just remember to empower one another. Cool. I'm gonna bring back Michael, and he's gonna break down the etiquette of this Zoom meeting. Mike, what's up?
So the etiquette, well, everyone's on mute. As we go through this process, remember to unmute yourself. Also, a disclaimer, we are recording this meeting. Everyone who, I'm going to send a link to the recording to Art, and hopefully it fits in his thing. So it's a very short, it's a long URL. So anyone who wants that can have the recording and the transcript of the meeting. And it's awesome to see everyone here. And Art, let me see the format you sent.
Well, from there, you're just basically breaking down that aspect.
Yeah, we're
and
going to
then
do some
also-
breakout rooms, if I recall,
Yep.
for about 10 minutes, right?
Yep, 5 minutes,
Okay.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. I'll set that up. Just give me a second.
So
While you're talking.
as to explain, right now we're going to get an opportunity to network with the people in the room. We're going to break out into small groups. You get an opportunity to talk about your business and kind of like what you're doing here, and you get a better idea of what we do as a community.
Sounds good.
Yep, just a second. I'm doing the.
And also, yes, when you guys switch through rooms and everything, don't forget to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I didn't know I was doing breakout rooms until I just saw that agenda. So give me a second.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no one said anything to me. So here we go.
And I will continue to email all of the RSVP guests so to get everybody in here.
Yeah, let's give people a couple minutes to join. I'll go on mute while I'm doing this.
Man, I hope everybody out there feeling good. Y'all on mute. I know you can hear me though. I need to see at least a smile. There we go. I see some smiles. Malaysia, you is not supposed to be driving and be on the phone. I love it. I love the dedication. That's super cool. That's a beautiful thing, man. Thanks again for everybody who came and tapped in with us. This is our first time doing a Successes virtual meetup, but it's gonna be amazing. And then everyone moving forward is gonna get better and better and better, y'all. You know, we plan to build this thing to. I mean, I don't know how big Art trying to build it, but I'm trying to go to like thousands.
I have a phone mount, just be. I could be on the phone.
Oh, my bad.
Hey, look, I'm driving. I got a phone mount. It's right here. I'm good.
Cool, you good. Hands free.
Was that hands-free driving you just demonstrated?
She said, look, Mom, no hands.
Look,
No hands. Right.
See, this is the beautiful part about community. We can actually have smiles and we will get business
Now,
and conversions done.
That cup looks
Yeah.
fancy. Yeah,
Ooh.
that looks fancy.
If you don't know Jane, here, how do I unmute you?
I didn't start with breakout rooms enabled because you didn't ask me for it. So I think let me see if I can go to Zoom settings.
I mean, if we can't do the breakout rooms,
just
we
give me a
could just do
second.
what I
I'll
was
see if
gonna
I can
say.
enable it. Just a second. Because
We
I
can
have it
break out.
enabled.
We could break out in here.
How do I work with the mute stuff?
When we get to that thousands, it'll be a different story.
I'm telling you.
Well,
I'm telling
I can do 100 without checking a box, but I've done 500
Right.
before.
Oh,
Then you do
nice.
it's called a webinar.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay, here
Mike,
it
we're
goes.
gonna
This
get
is how I
together and start
unmute you.
putting those together for my
All right.
podcast training, my media courses.
You got it.
Awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Do I not have the power to mute?
I don't. I tried to unmute her, but I
I'm
can't.
trying to unmute people and I can't. Hey,
I only
JB, can you unmute people? If you can you unmute Jane Aquino?
I unmuted
Okay,
myself.
let's see if that.
Oh, yeah, they can
Oh,
unmute
okay, even
themselves.
better. Okay, so if you want to go down the line, Jane, I'll call you guys out, I guess, or so and so you
I
guys
got
can
you.
introduce yourself to the group. We'll figure this introduction thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jane,
Your
you might
name,
as well go
this
ahead. You
is
already
I
unmuted,
enabled it for
girl.
next time.
Okay.
All right.
perfect. Thank you, Michael.
Hi everyone.
Jane,
What's up? I'm Jane Aquino. I'm here in Vegas, like all you guys, and I've known Art, I don't know, maybe 15, a little over, maybe around 15 years. We met each other through hip hop events and just hanging out at the V Bar for Case of the Classics, music, all that stuff. Get back. Anyways, a few years ago, I got into voice acting, and so my business is being a solopreneur, VOpreneur as a voice actor for businesses. Anybody who's creating content for their businesses, for their social media, for whatever they need a voice to. If they don't like using their voice, then you have an option. Um, Voiceover is getting more popular now. But the reason why I chose voiceover to be a path for me right now, I do have a full-time job that I work, but at home I have a booth where I can work virtually with studios and get online and record their video content or their voiceover content. But voiceover right now in your business spaces, if you're creating content for social media, for your employees in your business and your company, for potential clients, if you're not putting a voice to your video content, you're excluding those people who cannot see. So if you have captions on your video, awesome. If you have music in your video, awesome. But if you don't have a voice and you have captions, those people who can't see can't don't know what's going on, that it's a sponsored video, or you're promoting your business. So make sure you have a voice to that. It could be your voice. You have a unique voice, it's your brand, so empower yourselves to do that. But to that,
Awesome.
yeah,
thank you, Jane.
I'm here if you need me.
Awesome. Thank you, Jane.
You're welcome.
A couple other people I'd like to introduce that are new to the room. Malaysia, would you, if you're able to, I know you're driving now, but
Yep, you bet. You need me to go ahead and introduce myself?
yeah, just introduce yourself. A little shorter if you don't mind. No offense, Jane, but just so we can get through everybody that's kind of new to the circle.
Just
Of
keep
course,
it
no
brief,
worries.
y'all. Just keep it brief.
Oh, she's starting to freeze.
Malaysia, and I'm the co-owner of Elevated, all things content related. We have the podcast studio. You can't hear me? No?
We
You
can
hear
hear
me?
you.
No?
Mhm.
You can't hear me now? Okay. So did you hear? I said I was the co-owner of Elevated Space. It's just a content house for all things content related. We have podcast studios, a photo studio, and it's just we have a media room and different things like that. And it's just for you to come and do anything that has to do with content, like skits, any type of production, and photography.
Nice. Yeah, Malaysia is awesome. I produce a podcast there. Make sure y'all tap in. Who's next? Who we got? Daniel.
Daniel. Daniel is
Real,
new.
real quick, anybody that's introducing yourselves, you got a website or something, do the shout out right then too, so we know where to plug in, or drop it in the chat, even better. Except you, Malaysia, you just go ahead, shout it out. We'll type it in the chat.
All right, what up? What up? I tried to type in the chat, it won't let me. I'm Clove One, aka Daniel Kelman. Basically, my what I do is I could do designs. I print T-shirts. I could do murals, graffiti art, murals. I'm a man
His
of
spe
many stuff that I could do.
his specialty
You
right
name
now,
it, you name it, I could do it. I'll figure it out.
Daniel, I got you. Daniel, I got you. Hold on. His
Yeah,
specialty is giving DTG and DTF deliverables. He does custom shirts, small orders for either uniforms, teams, small campaigns for maybe a product
yes.
deliverable like that. He outsources all of his fabrics, so he can actually get you direct to garment what you're looking for, anything that could be printed on DTG or DTF.
So DTF is direct to film. So what I do is I print the ink on an X-ray piece of paper, and then I heat press that image onto the shirt. So there is no weeding, and it's very durable, and it's basically ink going on the fabric. And then DTG is direct to garment, to where the ink is actually inside the shirt.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Another community member I'd like to introduce right now is Sunny. Unmute yourself.
Yeah. What up, bro?
What's
Hey
poppin',
guys,
man?
Introduce
my name
yourself
is
to the
Sunny.
community.
Yeah. My name is Sunny Ave, aka Lil Stoney David, aka King Love. I'm a rapper, singer, songwriter, videographer, photographer. I DJ a little bit too. And I just I'm very appreciative of being able to be in this meeting with a fellow go-getters. I felt like you know what I'm saying, these are everybody that's out here that's accomplishing goals and you know what I'm saying and smashing their mission and I'm ready to join in, and contribute whatever I can.
And so he works with a production company out here. They do high value videography and stage production, capturing. I'm actually bringing him into the fold for the Successes production team as well. We will be doing some music and side other things, but for the most part, he's a solid fellow.
Mando.
The production team.
Yeah.
Another person I want to highlight right now that's kind of new and quiet to the community right now. She's been to quite a few events. Is Beautiful Creations is her brand, Chantel. If you can unmute yourself and if you want to just introduce your brand real quick, you don't have to hop on camera if you're able to.
You should hop on camera though.
I'll take your silence as a you're listening today. That's fine. I know I put you on the spot. Then from here, I'd say we could carry on since we didn't do the breakout rooms. We're about at that point for our keynote speakers. I want to give an opportunity right now to give a little background on our first keynote speaker, Bianca McCall. She has a mental health app that is called Reach In Now. She's her needs are subscribers and downloads. With that, also she needs partners for content creation and content providers. So if you are a content provider in any shape, form, I see a couple of heads nodding. She is definitely somebody to connect with. Also, with that, I should have did some housekeeping. I'll cover that in a second. She has an extensive background in athletics and mental health. With that being said, Bianca, if you'd like to unmute yourself and join in the interaction before you start up.
Yes, sir. You want me to go ahead and go? Or
You can introduce yourself real quick. We got like 2 minutes before you can start up.
okay, okay. Well, like Art said, as far as my experience, I'm a retired professional women's basketball player. And so today, like during my keynote, I like to share a little bit of my story with you all. For those that haven't heard it before or don't already know me. I'm also a healthcare CEO in a digital health startup, and it's called Reach In Now. So what Art was talking about in terms of the platform, we're actually in pre-development of our second iteration of an application called Reach In Now that invites people to a single platform to discuss, to celebrate, to create content, and to share content within affinity groups that has everything to do with just global wellness. So not just directly talking about mental health, but mental health as a part or as a subject matter that includes all the things that make us healthy. So finances, financial health is a domain of our health and wellness, education, housing, community, environmental resources and subjects. And so all of these things, the 8 domains of wellness together, I'm looking at being able to build a community on this platform and then also mobilize champions within that community. So leaders, organizations, entrepreneurs like yourselves, go-getters that already have existing platforms and existing content. I'm welcoming, all of you and all of those champions within our community to come on and start like what you would see kind of like the cross between YouTube, Netflix, IG, Twitter, X, and all of that that's designated specifically for wellness. And so I'm excited to be able to talk today and also contribute just some of my knowledge in the space of mental health and wellness. Some other things that I do is I work for higher education, so Nevada Systems for Higher Education, and I write curriculum and I train, I instruct those courses to pre-service students as well as professionals in service fields. So my access is to paraprofessionals that are in social service, and there's a lot of needs because as we all know, the economy is rocky right now. All of our systems are rocky right now. Healthcare system, especially, to where our paraprofessionals, they need support in all areas of their wellness. And it's such a transient group right now. You've got a lot of people burning out. And so just being able to pool in resources and expertise within the community is so important for the folks that I work with right now. I don't know, Art, if you want to.
Go ahead, start up.
Okay.
I figured you were already in the spill and just gonna transition into it.
Yeah, this is my point of passion. This is my life's work. It's not just a job. It's not just a chase the bag situation for me. And so you'll likely notice that I come with a lot of passion, with regards to this. And that also means that once I get going and start talking, I can continue in that. And so I'll look to my brother Art to keep me reining it in, in terms of time and how deep I go into it. But I always lead with, I'm a retired professional women's basketball player because sports and my experiences, playing at every single level, in my sport and championing at every single level, it definitely manifests into, just how I approach every situation in my life, and especially in business. I take a lot of what I've learned, a lot of what I've overcome, as an athlete, and I apply that to my life. And so you'll hear me using kind of language and things like that, that reference, my time as a hooper. And then also, with regards to mental health, I may be talking about like sports related concepts, but at the same time, the language that really I think anybody can relate to, whether you played sports or not, is, things like identity, things like performance. We can all relate to that, right? Because we all have several different identities and roles that we play in our lives, whether it's, being a son or a daughter, a father or a mother, a sibling, a member of our community, an employee, an employer, an entrepreneur. All of these are different roles. And our mental health is an undercurrent. It's an underlying factor in every single role that we play. Because the truth of the matter is that when we don't believe that we are performing at the level that we want to in any of those roles, in one or any or all of those roles, that affects our mental health, right? When we slip in status, and let's say for me as an athlete, being an elite athlete, when I no longer have that as a part of my identity, that causes, and it has an impact on my mental health. And so, so I want to start by sharing, my story, and since we're here to join in the discussion about resilience, I want to share with you what resilience means to me, and how it manifests into my life's purpose. And so, years ago, I was an All-American basketball player, and I was ranked 11th in my recruiting class, and I was recruited by hundreds of colleges and universities in the States. And I was playing pickup basketball with a few of the girls on a team while I was on a recruiting trip. And that's something that they used to do to measure your strength, your value and your worth. And so it was very difficult separating myself from what others valued me at, how others deemed me worthy, right? It was a lot of times equal to how I valued myself. So I was going up to block a shot when I was playing basketball, and I felt everything in my left knee snap. I tore my ACL and my MCL and my meniscus. And I always tell everybody when I tell the story, I still block the shot. Okay, I still block the shot. But at the same time, my value and my worth, it immediately depreciated because of that injury. And so again, relating to it, with you, whether or not you played sports, anytime that you're injured or unable to perform at the level that you expect of yourself in any role that you play, there's an injury, right? It might not be a physical injury like I'm describing, but that mental injury, right? Where your ideas about yourself, your value and your worth, it depreciates immediately with that injury. So for me, my status as an elite athlete, my identity, it was devastated and I lost, right? Because for me, when I'm good at something, that's my whole identity. That's my whole world, right? You put everything into it. And for a lot of us as entrepreneurs, that's our business, right? We put everything into it. So when something doesn't happen the way that we want it to, or when we're injured, as we're sacrificing everything for this business, there's devastation, there's depression that impacts our mental health. And for me, how you heal injury, how you heal physical injury is you get surgery, right? You go to physical therapy, and then it requires you doing some stuff on your own as well to maintain and to manage that pain, right? It's the same thing with a mental injury, is that there's no physical surgery for that mental injury, but we have to very intentionally design kind of this pathway to healing, right? That's the language that crosses over from surgery, is that we have to be intentional, right? The physical therapy, it may require, talking to, mentors, to other champions in the community, to experts, to therapists, to doctors. A lot of times it's the first people that we talk to are going to be family and friends, people that we trust. I always tell people, when we're being intentional about, designing this treatment team or this pathway to healing, I think of it like when I'm playing basketball, I'm hooping. When I was young in the summers, we'd be at the park. You choose two captains, you line everybody up on the half court line, and you're like, okay, I got him, I got her, got the shooter, you build your squad. we got to do the same thing for our mental health and our well-being. We got to choose a squad, and it may be a counselor, it may be a doctor, it may be, you know, faith-based, a pastor, a counselor there, it may be your boy, your homie, whatever, but we got to build our squad to very intentionally make sure that we have that support if and when we need, and not wait to a point of crisis to do that. You know, and let's not wait for something to happen. But we pick our squad because we're at the park, right? We know we're about to, we trying to get the win. So we pick our squad ahead of time. And so if and when stuff happens, if you do get down 2 points, you know, 4 points, when I talk to my pops, we talk basketball talk still to this day, and he'll be like, all right, you know, you got this problem at work. You're in the fourth quarter, you're down 10. Like, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? And so you have to choose your squad, agree on that game plan for if and when things go down, right? So for me, back to the physical injury, you know, I had a physical surgery to repair that. And this is such a profound, you know, piece of my story, because it's not just about saying, you know, that we want to do something, saying that, okay, we want to heal, we're going to recover, or, you know, motivational speakers and influencers, they'll tell you, like, you know, you just gotta say, you know, that you believe that you can do this type of thing. But there's action, right? Even in faith, right? There's action that you have to do, action steps that you have to do. And those action steps, and especially the first step, are the most important, right? In determining how it's going to turn out, what your outcome is going to be. So for me, I got surgery, and I remember when I woke up from the anesthesia, you know, the first person that was there, right? The first person that had a conversation with me about the traumatic experience that I went through was my orthopedic surgeon, right? And he said to me, he said, Bianca, you don't need permission to be out of pain. And let me tell you, the most profound thing, the most empowering statement that you can say to a woman, that you can say to a Black woman, is that you don't need permission to be out of pain. It's giving permission to heal. And again, like I'm saying, those first steps, those action steps, are what's going to determine how positive the outcome is. And the action steps for this doctor, the next thing that he did is, you know, he said, here's a black button that you can push. He put a black button in my hand, and he said, you can push this anytime that you're out of pain. And so for me, I didn't realize this at the time. You know, I'm 17 years old, you know, when I'm coming out of surgery, and I didn't realize this at the time, but I was injecting morphine into my body every time I pushed that black button. And there's not a whole lot of research, you know, even today, that's been done on how, you know, narcotics and benzos and opioids, how that affects young people or young people of color. There hasn't been a whole lot of studies and tests on that. When they do studies to release medications, it's usually a controlled group, and usually the controlled group aren't, you know, diverse populations. I'll put it to you like that. And so there was no way of knowing. There's no way that I would have been able to foresee, you know, how I was going to respond to pushing the black button. Because in my mind, I was in pain every time I was awake. You know, I'm a 17-year-old girl who just lost her identity. And so I'm pushing the button every time I was awake. And this is back when, I won't age myself, but this is back when insurance was real good. So I got to spend like 2 weeks in the hospital post-surgery. And after 2 weeks, I remember, you know, the insurance ran up. Doc says, you don't got to go home. You got to get out of here. And I was holding on to the bed rails, y'all. I was hysterical. I was sobbing. I was saying, please don't send me home. I'm still in pain. Because in my mind, I was still in pain. And what I didn't realize at the time, that I know now after some education, you know, and becoming an expert in the space, but what I didn't realize then is that I was experiencing chemical withdrawals, right? I was dependent on the medications. And the doc said, you know, consolation, made it rain with the prescriptions. He said, I'm gonna give you a whole bunch of pills to take, you know, you'll be fine. So they literally ripped me away from the bed, throw me in a wheelchair, put me in my parents' car. 2 weeks after surgery, I ended up back in the hospital. And I ended up back in the hospital because I had overdosed on the medications. Now, I was taking the medications the same way that I was pushing the button. because I had built that muscle memory, right? That I had built that as a coping skill, a coping strategy for me, for my pain, because I wasn't having any conversations. I didn't have my squad picked out, to talk about what my experiences was from the traumatic injury. And so without that squad, without that support, it was up to me to decide how I was going to cope with the pain. And I coped the same way that I had learned in the hospital, and that's just push the button, pop the pills, and I'd overdose. Something else that happened in that 2 weeks that I think is really important, and something that, again, we should all be able to relate to, is that since I didn't have the conversations outwardly, I was having the conversations with myself. You know what I mean? That self-talk, that inner dialogue. We all have that space that we go to where we talk to ourselves. And for some of us, we say some awful things to ourselves, some horrible things to ourselves in that space to try to motivate, because that's how we learned how to motivate. That's how other people talk to us growing up. That's how the family talks to us. Oh, you ugly, you this, you that. Stop being weak. Don't be a girl. Don't be a P. You know what I mean? Like that's how we learn how to talk to ourselves. And so for me, it was the same thing in those 2 weeks. I was telling myself, like, oh, I'm weak. I'm garbage. I'm trash. Nobody wanted to mess with me after that. Hundreds of scholarship offers down to like 2 or 3 maybe. And so the self-talk, the tone of your self-talk, the language that you use when you having that inner dialogue with yourself, it makes all the difference. Because if it is negative like that, and when you wake up in the morning and you're brushing your teeth, if you're one of those people that you actually look at yourself in the mirror, or do you look down, but if you look at yourself in the mirror, that's the most significant activity of your day, looking in the mirror, to be able to experience consciousness, right? That's when we're looking at ourselves and we're seeing ourselves and we're seeing who we are, right? We're seeing manifestations of what we believe that we are. So I knew that today, I wanted to come in and talk to y'all. I'm like I said, pro basketball player. I'm an international speaker. I'm a CEO, in the health space. I do all the stuff for the universities, and the messages that I include on every platform is based on this famous philosophy, right? That says, I think, therefore I am. I believe, therefore I am. The activity of looking at yourself in the mirror, that conscious activity, and spiritually, depending upon, no matter what you believe, really, but spiritually, your purpose, it's when you're processing, what is your purpose? Who are you? You know what I mean? Those are the moments that dictate, whether or not you are going to be successful or great. And I want to reference something that's called self-efficacy. And self-efficacy, it's our belief in our own capacity to be able to execute, behaviors that are necessary to perform optimally. It's Friday. I'm ready for the Super Bowl. Go Niners. But if you have optimal performance at whatever you desire, right? And greatness, this level of greatness, it's a mindset. Okay, it's a mindset. It's a mastery of our mental health. And the greats, the GOATs, the champions, they describe this mindset as irrational confidence, a belief in themselves that they can defy and overcome the physical reality of their circumstances. I want to reference Stephen Curry, who addressed the press and the media after willing his team to win the first round of the NBA playoffs last season. And he said, he possesses an irrational confidence and is just enough delusional to believe in himself that he can defy and he can overcome the physical reality that he's outsized, that he's outmatched, and he believes that he can achieve, a 5th championship ring. And the reason why I bring this up is because it's the belief in self, right? It goes back to that self-efficacy. If we believe that we are, we're broke or we're broken, if we believe that, there's no money out there for us, they're not trying to mess with us, we're not going to be successful, You know, I can't go into those rooms. I'm not invited to those tables. If we believe that, then that's what our reality is going to be. Our performance is going to reflect that. And for these goats, for these greats that believe that they can overcome and they can defy the physical reality, right, in order to achieve championship, that's a mindset, you know, and it takes discipline. It takes repeated activity and action. Just like we go to the gym and we train our bodies and we groom our bodies to be able to withstand all of the mess, all of the trauma, you know, the stuff that we consume on a daily basis. We had to do that for our mental health and have regimented activities, conversations, engaging in our wellness, investing in our wellness. We have to do that on a daily basis in order to afford to have that irrational confidence that we can defy and that we can overcome our circumstances.
Bianca, I
Yes,
want to
sir.
take that moment to,
That's a
if you
great
can,
moment. I'm good.
if you can you let them know, as they've gotten to know your past, kind of what you're doing now, they've felt your inspiration. Can you let them know, how can they help you? What are you looking for right now, and what do you really need?
Yeah, so I appreciate that segue. Art, you mentioned that, you know, I have a platform. And so I mentioned before that we're in pre-development of a version 2 of an application that I built a couple of years ago. So we have a beta version of that application on the App Stores today. It's called Reach In Now, and it's an anonymous text chat platform. And the reason why we led with that is because I wanted to see if people were going to be willing to just talk about stuff that they were going through, and I wanted to be able to identify like a hyper local network of resources and supports to be able to connect these people with. So what we learned in that beta test is that we need, you know, champions and experts in all areas of wellness. And what we're doing now, while we're developing the second iteration of that app, is that we have a white label product that is your cross between like YouTube and Netflix, a platform that streams content and that also encourages UGC, so user generated content, like YouTube, where there's opportunities to monetize by you starting channels and growing your viewership and your audience and your followers. So there's opportunities to monetize as well. And so for right now, we're going to launch that platform, that online platform, in the upcoming weeks. We're working on branding, and I'm working on going out and getting, like I said, content creators, people that can start channels that could be kind of like the original influencers of this platform. I'm going out and I'm personally connecting with all of you, you know what I mean? And saying, okay, what do you offer? You know, how do you influence people in areas of resilience, in wellness, you know, and mental health? And do you have existing digital content? So I want to connect with all of you if you are in that space and you have that capacity to be able to be influencers on this platform.
Okay, so Bianca, you're gonna have to take a meeting with Portia so she can get your intake information and everything for the Successes community, and we'll be able to bring you forward with all the different content creators within our community. That's definitely a must-have right there. I see a lot of people that might be inspired by what she's built out, and you want to reach out. Can you leave your information in the chat right now? And if you get an opportunity to what's it called? Copy and paste her information when she posts it. Make sure you get that connection if you want to make that. I appreciate everybody taking that time to listen to her story. A silent clap for Bianca McCall, everybody. A little silent clap right there.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's a lot of love. That's a lot of, oh, I see hands. I see emoji hands. That's cute. That's cute.
How y'all do that?
Next up, last but definitely not least, he's a mentor of mine. He got me to start doing high level marketing on a corporate scale. He's educated me from the moment we've met. I look up to this man right here, JB, from Consumer 51. If you want to briefly introduce yourself, a little bit and then just jump into your spiel?
Yeah, sure. Right on. Thanks everybody for coming out, spending the last of your week here, trying to better yourselves. That's what we do, right? My background started in Vegas, like I feel a lot of you guys are at right now. I was born and raised out there, spent the first 30 years of my life there. I always say my marketing career started on overpasses and trains, getting color up there, getting my name out there, going all city. That was the first viral campaigns you could do was going all city, right? So, you know what, my background is not as common as a lot of people in my position right now. I currently am the vice president of growth and strategic development for an international marketing agency. We just made the Inc. 5000 list last year of the fastest growing companies in the US. We serve clients all over the world. We help companies be able to move into Series A and even Series B funding. We move them to new audiences and new regions. I was able to even with the background I have, I was able to a number of years ago sit down with the state police of New Mexico and reimagine their entire process of recruitment, which eventually snowballed into doing that for several other departments and even the federal government to help understand how we could better do things like community mirroring as opposed to just going out there and seeing whose parent was a cop and bringing them on. We were able to really look at who can represent those communities. And we did that in ways by rethinking how it was done. And so that's what I've built my whole career on, is looking at things from a different perspective, being able to take that perspective and allow people to understand how they can reach their goals. My other company that I've founded is called Just Be Unlimited. If you go to justbeunlimited.com, that's right, Just Be. That's right. Come on over too. It's unlimited for a reason, right? So justbeunlimited.com. I do corporate consulting. I do private consulting, startup consulting. So go over there, check it out, see what we're doing, and then I'll drop a few links in the chat of some places that you can follow me. If you so desire, let me talk first and see if it's even worth it. Don't waste your time till I'm done, right? So I'm here today to talk. We're talking empowerment. Everything I do is about empowerment right now. It's all about helping people understand themselves, helping people understand the audiences they're trying to connect with. Because when you can do that, when you can make a true connection, a genuine connection, you'll be able to reach your goals, whatever they may be, if you can find the right audience to support you in that. So one of the things that I want to talk about today is a terminology called flow. And it's something that the rappers in the house will take it from a different perspective, but it's the same concept, right? It's the idea of being able to allow, what I call it is, in the corporate world, it's talked about a lot. Everyone all the way from Deepak Chopra on down is talking about this flow state. How do we get into a flow state? Okay. And what I define flow as is it's the state in which knowledge, inspiration, and intuition meld seamlessly into an extraordinary and effortless output. Okay. And when you can get in that state, it all comes together. But it's not as easy as it sounds, is it? We come across a lot of points in our lives where we resist that flow. And in fact, we are the only species walking this planet that does so. Nobody else resists their true nature. I went to an aquarium the other day and we're watching the fish swim, and they're huge fish. They're wild. They don't really move. They move through the water, but other than that, they don't really move. They just do. They're in their flow state constantly. Us as humans, though, we resist that effort. We resist that state at many stages of our life. Now, throughout the constructs of our life, we are bombarded with resistance constructs, aren't we? We're told who we should be. We're guided down paths we should follow. We are bought into identities we should emulate. But none of that is our true flow state. So what we're going to talk about today are, what are the 4 states of resistance? What are the 4 illusions that lead to the resistance of a flow state? And the beautiful thing about this is when you're conscious of these 4 illusions, you can fight them, you can negate them, you can find yourself in that flow state. It is that easy to consciously reprogram yourself, reprogram your view of yourself and the journey that you're on, and find yourself in that flow state. So let's dive in for a second. The first illusion that I want to touch upon is called the illusion of predictability. And these are pulled from Vedic philosophies. These are ancient philosophies that really tie into this opportunity of flow state. So the illusion of predictability is the idea that yesterday is like today, today is like yesterday, tomorrow is going to be like today. The idea that you can predict what tomorrow will bring based on what you're experiencing now, and what you're experiencing now is based on what happened yesterday. And the truth of the matter is none of that is real. It's an illusion. This idea, it helps protect us in this sense of unpredictability, because predictability gives us that comfort level. See, things like fear are based in the sense of lack of control. I'm going to say that again. Fear is based 100% in the lack of control, that sense that you don't have control of something. If you don't feel you're prepared or you have control of a setting within your life, it will generate anxiety and fear. Once you gain control through knowledge or experience or changing your perspective, all of a sudden the fear dissipates. So the idea that we want things to be predictable is that sort of protecting ourselves from that sense of lack of control, but which is another illusion we'll get to in a minute. But that idea of predictability is that you need to realize that if you want to shape tomorrow, then you need to shape tomorrow. You need to come up with what tomorrow looks like for you. You need to think about what tomorrow, what you want it to be, and then you start shaping that future with the understanding that it's not dictated on today and it's not dictated on yesterday. It's dictated on the flow of what's meant to be. Now, that brings us into our second illusion. The second illusion is the illusion of control. The idea that if I do X, I will achieve Y. We're told that all the time, right? Go get a degree, then you'll get a job. Go get married, and then you'll have kids. Go have kids, do this. If you do this, you will get this. Network, do this, right? We have all these systems that we put in place that if you follow, you will achieve these outcomes. But what really happens? What's the truth of this life that we live? We do X, and what happens? Is it always Y? Or you end up with C, L, and some squiggly lines, and you don't know where you're going to end up. Just because you do the task doesn't mean you're going to get the conclusion. And you know what? That's okay. The idea that you can control the outcome of a situation is what will resist you to that flow, because you know deep down inside that you don't have control. And so that sense of control will actually create anxiety. It will create fear. It will create anxiety. It'll create self-doubt. And once you let it go, once you realize that your ego, because control is built 100% around protecting your ego, once you let go of that ego and realize what will happen, regardless of what you do, what will happen, then you can get in the flow state and you can start to affect things. But you have to let it go. Now, getting to that identity and that ego, it brings us to that third illusion. The third illusion is the illusion of identity. Now, this is a fun one. When I read this one, it really took me back for a second. I want you all to take a look at this one. So the illusion of identity is the idea that you are who you've always been and you will be who you are now. That our identity is somehow static. All of life is a flow. All of life is a movement, but somehow who I am is predicated on who I was raised as. I am the trauma that was bestowed upon me. I am the trauma that has existed maybe generationally, and that is who I am. That is an illusion. You are who you become. You are not who you were. Our state of identity is who we become at every stage of our life. When you want to reinvent yourself, it's as simple as reinventing yourself. There is no checklist. There is no check-in, right? There's no one that gets to secure who you want to be. Half the people on this call go by fun names. I've had so many monikers throughout my life because I said so. I put it on a train and I said so. And then I became something else and someone buffed over it. Our identities are as flow state as the lives that we live. And once we let go of that understanding that I am not my past, I am not my mother, I am not the lead up to today, I am who I say I am going to be in the future and who I want to be, who I strive to be. You can make that reinvigoration of your identity every moment. You are not locked into any sort of static illusion of identity. As far as that time goes, that brings us to our fourth illusion. That fourth illusion is the illusion of time. The idea that, and this is a little different one, right? The idea is Your time that you spend will dictate what you know, as opposed to understanding there is a universal consciousness, there is a universal flow of information and intuition. You heard about the monk that goes onto the mountaintop and sits in a cave for 40 years, comes down and has all the answers to life. Invents yoga, invents Reiki. This is the stories time and time again of Zen monks or whoever they meet. They go and they quiet the mind and they dive in deep. Now, you don't have to go meditate for 40 years. That's the good part. The other side of it is, though, you do need to quiet the mind. You do need to quiet the constructs and the illusions that what you have spent your time or what you need to do is read another business book, go get another degree, go watch another podcast. And you need to do this over and over and over until you have enough knowledge or until you have enough experience to be able to put yourself out there. When the truth is, you're ready now. You're good enough right now to put yourself out there and get moving into the world. Your knowledge will come. In fact, the better bet is your knowledge is already there. You just can't hear it because you're too noisy up in your head. Once you learn to quiet those voices, once you learn to quiet everyone else's voices, the answers are there. Your next step is already there. You know what to do. You just need to learn to trust yourself. That timeless sense that you do not need to live on your qualifications. You need to live in your qualifications, that you exist here as a beautiful entity, as an energy that is able to walk this earth, to exact change where you want it to be, and to really be the person and be the organization that you want to be, to just be unlimited, right? There's a reason behind that. You know it. You let go of these illusions, and what you're going to find is these 4 components will tie back in to a deeper understanding of yourself, of the path that you're walking and where it is that you're meant to go. I heard one yesterday that I just love, and it said, nothing will ever pass you by that is meant to happen. I'm going to say that one more time. Nothing will pass you by that is meant to happen. Okay, let go of these illusions and just watch what will happen. That's what we got.
Just be, everybody. A nice silent clap for Just Be, y'all.
For JB.
JB, good luck. JB, Just Be Unlimited, Just Be. I'm so stupid. I'm just blown away. I got chills over here. Like I'm over here, like preparing some other stuff, sending out emails, doing all kinds of stuff, responding to people that didn't and everything. But I'm listening and I'm hearing everything he's saying, and it's just touching me. And I'm hoping everybody else in the room that got to hear him speak, JB. VP from Consumer 51, Just Be Unlimited. I hope you really tap in with him, give him a follow. He just launched a new page for the brand Just Be Unlimited. So if you can give him a follow right now or soon, I'd appreciate that. Yeah, this man has educated me in a lot. He's helped guide me through real life stuff. The links are in the chat, so you can copy them now. If you have any questions for either Bianca or JB, I'd say now would be the opportunity. If you want to do that, unmute yourself and kind of just be respectful to if somebody else is interjecting or we're all talking and stuff. But
I got a question. I got a question for JB.
Yeah.
No, this is a real question, man. I'm really big on branding, you know. And I mean, Just Be Unlimited, and my whole brand is Just Be you. But what would it take for me to possibly be like a spokesperson or like a brand ambassador for you? Because I think it just goes hand in hand. I think we should definitely take a shot at this opportunity.
Yeah, let's make it work. You know, just get in touch. Let's have that conversation. I'm always down to help and also work with and, you know, lift up and be lifted. Let's do it together. So yeah, reach out directly. You know, there's lots of ways that we'll be able to connect.
Okay, I'm gonna drop my. I'm about to send you my telephone number right now in the private chat.
Perfect.
Thank you.
I had a question for JB.
Yeah.
You mentioned helping companies in like the letter rounds, I think. You're saying like Series A and B and stuff. Do you have experience or like a willingness to help companies in pre-seed? And
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, shit, if you want to figure out how to do crowdfunding campaigns, I've run successful ones of those, or at least from a consultative standpoint to really help you understand what a good direction could be. So there's a few steps to that. It's identifying your funding, your ideal funding outlets, right? Once we have that identified, then what we can do is break down and say, what's the best way to reach them? And then the step from that next point is going to be how best to present your project or your effort in their eyes so that you have your best chances of success. We'll absolutely have that conversation.
thank you.
Art, you're muted.
Unmute yourself, Art.
It happens to the best.
Sorry about that. Thank you. All of that, it's so funny. All of that, strategize your goals and figure out your path to predict your weather that you've heard me spiel. That is all JB. He has so many different philosophies for the business that practices he has. Yeah, again, I can't thank him enough for taking the time to speak to us. He's very busy, but not too busy for Successes. He is an official board member of Successes. He's a founding member with me. This is a baby idea that we've always known that we would be doing in some sort with the communities of being able to provide general resource. It may have started out in a hip hop form with a company he started a long time ago called Vegas Heads, and he's transcended it through youth programs and stuff that went national. And to be able to have him as part of Successes is a real asset. And yeah, it's just an honor. So thank you. Thank you to everybody that has attended as well. Yeah, some good energy. I hope you get an opportunity. If you can, anybody in here, if you can leave your contact information, you can download this chat room. So you'll be able to have everybody's information in here if you do that before you leave. If not, I'll download it and save it, and you can hit me up, and I can pass you anybody's contact that's in here. So if you want to leave your contact in here, you're new to the community, you want to meet some other people, yeah, please do.
Yeah. So I already dropped my contact information just real quick for everybody that's out there. We're all entrepreneurs. Me and one of my business partners, some of you may or may not know him. His name is Icy Jones. He's a gospel hip hop artist out here in Las Vegas. We have a podcast called the Active Ingredient Podcast, right? It's to find out what's that one active ingredient inside of you that allows you to that allows you to find success, obtain success, and now allow you to keep it. I know it is hard as entrepreneurs to keep success. Hell yeah, but we must be doing something right because we still here, we still pushing, we still working. So I would like to invite all of you guys to be a guest. For sure. So yeah, you want to shoot me a number so I can have everybody's number.
So to go with that, also not just to be a guest for the podcast himself, he has been growing, like he said, and he will be opening up his doors February 23rd. We will be doing Success's first ribbon cutting ceremony for a grand opening of a brick and mortar business of a member of Success's. It is a big moment for us. So if you can, you get a chance to check out the Successes page and RSVP, like where we always RSVP. That link will be up in the next probably hour or so. So at some point when you see the advertisement, please RSVP for that. Yes, and support my man, Just B. He has Under the Hood Studios opening up February 23rd.
Let's go. Yeah.
That'll be amazing.
Let's do it.
That'll be amazing.
Man, hey, I just as a newcomer, I just wanted to say this meeting was freaking awesome. I just loved hearing all the go-getter stories, man. Like just, you know what I'm saying, from sharing your backgrounds and the trials of your life, what you're getting through, and then just speaking life, JB, just speaking life into us, man. Like I really do appreciate this, man. This was very motivating. Most definitely, you know what I'm saying, it pumped me up. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do something. Who needs something? I need something. I need to do something. Let's go. So I mean, like, but yeah, bro, like wherever I can fit in, It don't matter if it's holding the door. You feel me? Like wherever I could do to help. You know what I'm saying? I'm right here. Let
You
me
know, I
know.
got you, family. We got the meeting with your peoples tomorrow to really figure out where we can fit you in. My apologies yesterday, not being able to
Nah,
make
bro.
the
Yeah,
meeting with the
man.
doctor's
Don't even worry
appointment.
about it. I know what's
You
up.
know. If
You gotta
anybody else
handle
wants to
business,
say
man.
anything, introduce themselves to the community, or has something going on that they want to interject right now, feel free to unmute yourself. We're just gonna chill out for a little bit. We're already over the time, so it's no pressure to stay. But if you do want to say something or you want to interject, feel free.
How do I download the chat?
Hold on one second. So if you are on the app, I'm not quite 100% sure, but if you're on the digital, there's three little dots at the bottom. It says format, add emoji, file, and then the three little dots opens up a new menu, and you'll see save chat right below. I don't know if it's on the same for the mobile, but for the digital, that's the website.
The desktop
Yeah, nigga,
one.
I gotta join it through the app next time.
Yeah, the desktop one has it, the actual application. The phone one doesn't have the save chat.
Oh, okay, yeah, my
So
bad.
if you're on the desktop one, it's
Just hit me up for it later and I'll send it to you.
There you go. You're gonna have to send out the recording anyway.
Yep.
I
Oh,
just did a
also
whole
thinking
bunch of
about recording.
screenshots.
Don't forget to go to the YouTube channel, Successes, LV or at Successes
Let's go.
LV, I believe it is.
Yeah, I think it's a success as LV.
Yeah, at
Yeah.
Successes
I'm gonna
LV. Subscribe.
go to it right now.
Yeah, let's go.
We have the
something to
first
keep in mind.
brunch up there. Half of the first brunch is up there right now currently. That was October 14th.
Just something to keep in mind as we all round out the week. I just want everyone to remember we're going to go into the Super Bowl weekend. You're going to see some of the biggest brands in the world talking to you about themselves. They're going to put millions of dollars to tell you how great they are. What I want you to remember is that the reason why our society is as great as it is because of groups like this. It's because of individuals that are sitting in this room making a difference in their own community. All those other motherfuckers, all those big giant corporations are the reason for the ails of our society. Remember that. Remember that we are the backbone and the heart and the brain and the hand and the legs. We're the whole body. They're the burden. Okay. It's about us. And a lot of times we're not really taught to believe that. People talk about evil corporations and then we all go out and file corporations and we're going, wait, am I evil now? It's not us. They're not talking about it. All right. We are the truth. And we need to remember that every day we go out there. So when you're out there this weekend, keep in mind that they're fighting for you. They're fighting for your attention. You're not fighting for theirs.
All right.
Yeah. Right.
Sonny, my bad. I inhale a lot of smoke. What do you do again?
I do testimonial hip hop. I do R&B. I do regular hip hop. I used to do rap battles. That's what Art know me from. I used to do
he low key online famous. And he's a hell of a recording artist.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
but right now, currently, he works with a production company that we're gonna start putting into the fold of Successes. I meet with the owner of the company tomorrow, and we'll figure out where we fit in.
Yeah, for sure. That's tight, by the way, brother. Keep doing your shit.
Yeah. Thank you, bro. Hey, man, and I heard you do Christian hip hop in the Christian hip hop podcast, man. Like that's right on my alley, bro. For real.
No,
that's
my business partner. Yeah, hold on. Don't get too far. I don't do Christian hip hop. I'm not an artist at all. One of my business partners is a hip hop gospel hip hop artist. And we have a podcast together, but it's not a Christian podcast though. Yeah, my mouth too bad, bro. They'll shut me down.
Come as you are, bro. Look, God's grace is sufficient enough for you. Don't trip.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, God ain't tripping. But the Christian digital world will be like, sir.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I gotta deal with them too. Because I come like this, bro.
Yeah, man.
I come as I am. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I'm good enough for the Father, you know what I'm saying? I'm good enough for everybody else, anybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you, man.
Hey, what's your
Yeah,
address
that's IC's
for the
lane.
studio? Just
I
be.
put it in. I put all the information in this in the group chat.
Oh,
It's 4535 West Sahara Avenue.
It's in the chat.
Yeah,
35 West.
Sahara Avenue, suite number 217. I wish I can show you guys, but my webcam ain't long enough.
It's all good. I'm just putting together the invitation right now or whatever.
Okay.
I'll add the description later. But so the link is live if you want to RSVP for the ribbon cutting ceremony.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Oh yeah, no, we there. That's Amanda. As Amanda. Yeah.
And then we will be launching Successes podcast as well.
Take it.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Publish. Boom. All right, we're live.
We'll check it. And then I want all of it back here. Move them chairs out the way and get down on.
Who's that?
Art, do you want me to stop the recording?
Yeah, you can stop the recording for now.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Hey, thanks everyone for
twinsies.
joining. And I'll stop the recording. So anything you say now will not be in the format.